Commander Butch Wilmer, they're calling down to Mission Control here in Houston that the spacecraft has begun rolling into the right attitude for its ascent, and the Guidance, Navigation, and Control Officer here in the room seeing good data on that.
Starliner passing through max Q, or the point of maximum dynamic pressure where the forces of air friction are highest, which in Sunny will shortly be passing through Mach 1, where the speed of sound.
Got a good throttle up.
Starliner and Atlas looking good with speeds and attitude increasing as expected. Coming up in less than 20 seconds, the solid rocket boosters will run out of fuel and burn out.
Good SRB burnout.
Good SRB.
Now that the fuel in the solid rocket boosters has been depleted, the Atlas main booster stage will be continuing its burn for about the next 3 minutes.
Good handle.
Good handle.
That call, good handle, from Capcom Joshua Kutrick, indicating that the crew now has the ability to initiate an abort manually if needed. All looking good so far. Now 2 minutes into Starliner's flight and coming up on the solid rocket booster jettison at the 2 minute and 40 second mark.
CLG and net, good trajectory.
CLG.
The solid rocket boosters have now been jettisoned after seeing Starliner through its first 90 seconds of flight. Team on the ground here confirming that it was a good jettison and that the vehicle's trajectory continues to look good. Now 3 minutes into today's flight.
Atlas booster now throttling back to limit the G-forces on Butch and Sunny, trying to limit that to around 3.5 times the force of gravity you would feel while on the ground.
Staging.
Here in the ground.
Decals open, you have sublimator act.
Decal sub act. Decal. Great act.
Team on the ground reporting that they saw the ascent cover on top of Starliner that's been protecting the spacecraft's docking system through its climb into orbit. They saw that jettison as planned.
Staging was good. You have good control.
And now the second stage's 2 Centaur engines have ignited to continue pushing Starliner into space, fueled by liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. The next milestone that we'll be watching for is the aeroskirt jettison.
Starliner, you had good booster performance. You're up to plus 31.
Plus 31.
Atlas Control reporting booster performance offset of 31 seconds of ISP, or specific impulse, relative to its design baseline of around 450.
All continuing to perform well, almost 7 minutes into today's flight.
जी नाजरीन, ये जो
Good Centaur.
Good Centaur.
Capcom Joshua Kutrick continuing to pass good news up to Starliner's crew. At last one reporting that the Centaur upper stage remains in good condition and is performing well, pushing them into orbit.
no, एक मिनट असर भाई यही ना
St. John's open.
St. John's.
Starliner is now entering its first guided abort range, where Starliner would direct itself towards a specific location in the event of abort. In this case, just off the coast of St. John's, the capital of the Canadian province of Newfoundland Labrador.
Starliner MECO converged 11:52, 11:52. Good perf. You're at 34 to 36 seconds.
11:52. 34 seconds.
That call letting the crew know that the main engine cutoff, MECO, should happen just about on time, about 12 minutes into today's flight. Another good indication that Starliner's ascent is taking along exactly as expected. Main engine cutoff is a major milestone marking Starliner's arrival on orbit. Still got about 2.5 minutes until we get to that, with the spacecraft continuing to perform well, make its way towards orbit.
No action, Starliner, on the LCL. That's just the system coming up into controlling mode.
Outstanding. No action.
Once the main engine is cut off, the next step will be the launch vehicle separation. That's set to occur just short of 15 minutes after launch, when Starliner will separate from the rocket and fly free in space for the first time. Flight dynamics officer reporting that at this point, Starliner could potentially make an abort landing off the coast of Ireland.
Get to the link.
And they're, again, all continuing well, so we're not expecting to need that abort.
As Starliner is rapidly approaching orbital velocity, this abort region is only available for just over 1 minute, where Starliner would just continue up to orbit after that.
Seconds to Miko.
Just 30 seconds to go. Now until main engine cutoff, marking Starliner's arrival on orbit.
Nominal Miko Starliner.
Nominal Miko.
And with that nominal Miko call, that's main engine cutoff. We've got good energy, meaning a good velocity for continuing to orbit, and a good plane, meaning Starliner's trajectory is aligned with the International Space Station for rendezvous tomorrow.
And with that, Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams returned to orbit. Individually, they are both extremely experienced astronauts.
14:5 to 14:52.
14:52.
They're both very experienced astronauts with a combined total of 489 days in space between them. Starliner is also the third spacecraft that they've launched in. Both have traveled to the International Space Station via space shuttles and Soyuz and are now well on their way to repeating the journey via Starliner. It's also worth noting that Williams' role as pilot marks the first time that a woman has crewed a flight test of an orbital spacecraft.
Just a few seconds ago, you heard Capcom Joshua Kutrick
ये
calling up to
जो
Butch and Sunny
स्पेसशिप लॉन्च आप देख रहे हैं ये बोइंग की पहली
with
मैंड
the
खलाई
expected time
परवाज है
Starliner will
जो
separate
खलाबाजों
from
को
Centaur at about
इंटरनेशनल
14
स्पेस
minutes,
स्टेशन तक पहुंचाएगी
52 seconds
सन
into flight.
2011 में
just
अमेरिका
under two.
का जो स्पेस शटल प्रोग्राम था वो खत्म कर दिया गया और सन 2011 के बाद अमेरिकी खलाबाज रशियन स्पेस प्रोग्राम का सहारा लेते थे इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक पहुंचने के लिए और उसके बाद दो मुख्तलिफ कंपनियों को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स दिए गए कि वो अमेरिकन एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक पहुंचाने के लिए स्पेसशिप्स डिज़ाइन करें। इसमें पहली कंपनी थी स्पेस एक्स जो इलॉन मस्क की कंपनी थी और दूसरी बोइंग का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ज़्यादा बड़ा था लेकिन बोइंग के स्पेसशिप स्टारलाइनर की डिज़ाइन में देर लगती गई और उसके अंदर डिज़ाइन चेंजेस भी होते गए जबकि स्पेस एक्स ने अपनी स्पेस लॉन्च पहले कर दी। तो बोइंग का स्टारलाइनर जो है ये दूसरी प्राइवेट कंपनी है जो कि अमेरिकन एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को इस वक्त स्पेस स्टेशन तक पहुंचा रही है और इसके बाद अमेरिका के पास ये दो मुख्तलिफ रास्ते होंगे अपने एस्ट्रोनॉट्स को इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन तक पहुंचाने के लिए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
LV SEP confirmed.
whatever you say.
And now that Starliner has separated from this Centaur upper stage, we have a big thank you to our partners at ULA, providing Butch and Sunny a smooth ride to space.
That is not the end of today's orbit activity, though. The team will now be getting ready for the orbital insertion burn, which comes 31 minutes after flight. So that's still about 15 minutes away now. Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore will be getting their tablets out and doing a few other activities to get Starliner ready for that. And that will be that will be the first in a series of burns that will set Starliner on its way to the International Space Station.